I just got slapped in the face by watching a friend lose money on a deal when I should have said, no, you should bring this over here. I don't approve you taking it to another TC. I backed down and didn't insist that we're better because I'm always trying to be nice. But me being nice let somebody down. That's why I apologized to this person. I said, I'm sorry. My team would have discovered this before we took a dime. So how did I let this happen? It started when I called the person. Hey, it looks like you're taking on a new deal. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. May I ask why you're not using me? And she said, you're so expensive. And this other person is less than half your price. And I'm a price conscious person, very much. And so I'm like, sure, okay. They sent me who it was. And I'm like, that's a very ethical person. So yeah, you got my blessing. I'm happy for you. Hope it all goes well. And then I see this Facebook post. And it's like, hey, huge lesson learned, lost my EMD and a couple of other things. I'm like, oh no, tell me that's not the deal that I said she could go somewhere else. And bottom line, I failed this person by not insisting that they use us. I mean, there's TCs and there's our standards. And it's not that this person did something wrong. It's that I backed down and didn't insist that we're better because I'm always trying to be nice. But me being nice let somebody down. So this person was taking assignment. And so this is where I want you in, Marcelo, because when we take somebody, I love buyers because we can do the most good. We get to rip everybody else a new one when we're working for the buyer. What's your process when somebody brings us something they're taking on assignment?
The first thing I tell them is that before you sign anything, please send us the assignment contract. If time allows, give us the opportunity to review it. And we can let you know after doing, 50, 70 transactions a month, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, we can tell you there's several red flags that need to be addressed. And if any of them are on the contract, you're the one that's going to be on the line for it. So best that we review it first.
Yep. So obviously that didn't happen because they didn't go with us. But, and even if, what's the other piece? Even if you sign an assignment contract, hold on the EMD for just a few hours. Like wait till tomorrow. You're probably not going to lose the contract unless they're real hard up on it. But just let us finish reading it. And you can be like, oops, sorry, cancel. I'm not sending EMD. I made a post on this today. Sometimes the best deal is the no deal at all.
Yeah.
And so you have that meeting before they even pay us anything?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why I had to apologize. That's why I apologized to this person. I said, I'm sorry. My team would have discovered this before we took a dime. Before you sent the EMD, you would have had us look at the assignment contract. We would have asked you questions about, hey, it's this type of loan in this state. Are you expecting, and it's in this region. Are you ready for the insurance changes that have been coming around? And are you ready for the property tax change? I don't want you to take the deal if your underwriting isn't good. Why? Because I don't want Creative TC's name associated with deals that fall apart. So I don't even want to take them on. And that's why I'm so happy to have you on board reviewing deals up front for free. We're not doing the underwriting for people, but we sure want to make sure that you've done your underwriting before you bring it in. I don't know. I was really disappointed for this person and in myself for backing down instead of just saying, you know what, we're the best and we cost more because we're the best.
Yeah. I mean, we even have a recent experience as of today. We have a brand new client. He's never worked with us before. He found us on Google, and I've been working with him for about a week now. And he's buying a property sub two from a seller who's done 30 plus sub two transactions. And then my gut was telling me, hey, something doesn't seem right about this deal. Send me the contracts, ask for the closing docs when he first closed on it. Let's review it together. And there was 8 major things that were an issue. Number one was the fact that he was actually not going to sign a warranty deed. It was an agreement for sale in Arizona. Both of them didn't even know what that was because I spoke with the seller.
And it's
And
not
he's
that
like,
that's wrong to do. It's just you need to be making informed decisions, and it makes a difference in what you can and can't do with the property. So we want to understand what people are doing with the property so that we can make sure that the transaction structure matches your intended outcomes.
yeah. But on top of that, right, not only was he not going to get the deed, which was what they agreed to, on top of that, they said that there's about $2,200 a month in HOA fees and assessment fees. And I'm like, that's outrageous. And then we looked deeper into it. It was just the fact that he just signed the contract already, by the way. But I was like, hey, the deal already fell through with the title company. This is your way out because they couldn't perform. But you actually want the house, don't you? I'm like, yeah, then let's restructure it and let's make it worthwhile.
I love it. And it's not always that it's not structured right, so you have to leave. Sometimes it's like, I still want the deal. Can we make it work the way it was supposed to? And we bring corrective paperwork. Title companies can't do that. Other TCs can't. So I don't know. I hate the brag sessions, but I just got slapped in the face and had to apologize for somebody because I was literally too humble to be assertive about, you know what, you should use us. You should have used us in the first place. And now instead of me going back and saying you should have used us, I'm apologizing for not demanding that they use us.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, he did tell us, hey, you're like double the price of what I was anticipating to pay. And I'm like, no, I get it. And there's a good reason for it. And we went through it. We talked about it in a logical standpoint. I was
Yeah.
like, this is gonna be a primary residence. You have the risk of due on sale associated with the original deal not being closed correctly. You don't have direct communication with the original seller. Like if you want any level of assurance that this is gonna be done the right way, you have to have a professional on your side. And that's what we do. So do
And
you think it's gonna
that was
cost you more?
active consulting before we charged a dime.
Yeah,
All of that.
exactly.
And now our front
Even-
door is open. You can walk into Creative TC from the main website, click join Zoom, and see if we have an available somebody. We have somebody basically on call all the time, right, to be available for those. So
Exactly.
walk in, ask questions. That's free. Find out why
Yeah.
we're the best. And the other piece is, I would compare a couple of things here. There's a couple of perspectives that I want people to understand. We're more expensive, sometimes twice as expensive, for a good reason. Number one, we want to be. Number two, the reason I want to be is because you're delivering on partner level quality and experience at a flat fee. So we're not taking a percentage of your deal, we're taking a fee at closing to make sure your deal is at this quality. And that's the difference. And I think when people look at our price, they're like, that's so expensive. But compared to zero, yeah, compared to what other people are charging, it's not that much more. Like when you look at the grand scheme of how big is this property, how big is the closing, cash at closing, it goes up by this much. And you're saying that's so much money. It's not. It's not when it comes to getting your deal done the right way, when it comes to not losing your EMD, when it comes to finding things in the closing statement, which a lot of people find stuff in the closing statement, but it's also the assignment of insurance proceeds and making sure it's done right and having our irrevocable durable limited power of attorney. Nobody else has that. And we
Exactly.
don't nickel and dime.
No, not at
It's
all.
all in. And so by the time you work with some other people, they nickel and dime and it ends up getting pretty close to what we charge. So I don't know. I just want to make sure people are aware of that. I am willing to be assertive at this point because I just got slapped in the face by watching a friend lose money on a deal when I should have said, no, you should bring this over here. I don't approve you taking it to another TC.
For that deal, just enough like the way he made the conclusion that it made sense to move forward with us, despite the fact that we doubled the cost, is the fact that he's like, hey, if deal and sale got called, I feel confident I could refinance it. But refinance is probably gonna cost me more than $2,000 as an
Yep, out of
origination.
pocket.
Yeah. So he's like, why would I do that if I could just make sure it's done right the first time? And
Yeah.
the fact it was his first deal, he didn't know what he's getting himself into. There's a bunch of red flags. I was like, it just makes sense. Let's just do it.
And when's the last time we turned somebody down for support after they closed the deal?
Never. Not once.
That's not what we do. Sometimes we can't do things on your behalf and we'll coach you through it. Like, hey, you've got to go do the thing, but we'll tell you what to do. We're here for you. I don't know. I just need to make sure I get this message out because I don't think I've made that clear to people.
We could all do better than that.
Yeah. It's our duty.